Hello guys, welcome back to the Cinematic. Today we've got another movie review for you. Today we are reviewing Mary Queen of Scots. The cast includes Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, Joe Alwyn, Jack Lowden, and my dude, Guy Pearce. So the movie is based on a true story based off of English/Scottish history. Mary returns from France. She is a widow. She returns to Scotland. She is a rightful heir to the throne, and she wants Queen Elizabeth of England to acknowledge that, but Elizabeth says, nah, I'm good, unless you marry one of my boys, and she's like, nah, I'm good. And so they kind of have this conflict, and she tries to kind of become the Queen of Scotland and England, while Elizabeth tries to undermine her authority the whole time. Saoirse Ronan, wonderful in this movie. Definitely the best part. She takes command when she's on screen, and she leads with amazing charisma. She really does make you believe her cause, and you're on her side. And a big part of this movie is her and Elizabeth, these two very powerful women, trying to lead in a world usually controlled and dominated by men, and these men are constantly trying to take the power from them. And it's the dichotomy and how Mary kind of wants to still be a woman while she leads. She still wants to love and have a husband and have children and still be a woman, while Elizabeth kind of has taken all that away from herself. She refuses to get married again. She refuses to have kids. And she thinks that's what makes her so strong and powerful, as opposed to Mary, where that might be her weakness. So we see that dichotomy between the two of them. It's very interesting to see. Chemistry between the two of them, even though they don't get to meet that much, is still really interesting. And I think they picked, the casting for this was absolutely perfect. Something else that stood out to me, apart from Ronan and Robbie, is the cinematography. There are some shots in this movie that were just beautiful. I really liked it. I think that's a huge standout in the movie. This movie, I hate to say that movies are boring, because I think every movie has something for somebody. I feel like when I say a movie's boring, it just means I didn't get it. I think this movie was kind of boring. The marketing campaign and all the trailers really made this movie seem like it was more of a Mary versus Elizabeth thing. And maybe it's just because I'm dumb and I don't know all my English history. I did okay on my AP Euro test. They really are very separated until probably the last 10 minutes of the movie. Margot Robbie doesn't really get to do much. They're separated for most of the movie, and I kind of was hoping they would have a little bit more conflict. They're these two leading roles, and they barely meet. They barely get to interact. They barely get to do anything with each other. And I know that probably is historically accurate, and for me, I think that's the problem with this movie, is that it's too historically accurate. I mean, they had two roads they could go down. They could pull the Braveheart, where it's extremely entertaining, but a lot of people say it's not historically accurate at all. It took a lot of liberties, but people love that movie. Whereas this movie, probably, I haven't done a ton of research, feels like it's pretty historically accurate, and I think it suffers from that. Maybe a movie didn't need to be made about this story. I appreciate the aspect of the women in power, and how, especially for Mary, men are always trying to take her power. No matter if she was a king, no one would touch her, but since she's a queen, everyone wants to take her power. Everyone wants to be with her. They want to take control of her. I appreciate that aspect. I really like it. It's my favorite part of the movie. But other than that, there's just not a lot of standout moments to me where like I walked away like, man, that was a really good moment. There are like two moments that do stand out to me, and one of them not necessarily because it was like good, but it was extremely gruesome and like almost hard and uncomfortable to watch, where like I kind of never want to see it again. Other than that scene and one other one that I don't want to spoil, the movie just doesn't really have a whole lot of big moments. So after all of that, I'm going to give Mary Queen of Scots a 6.5 out of 10. Outside of Ronan's performance and some of Robbie's performance and the cinematography, there just really wasn't a whole lot to grab onto in this movie, and I kind of just walked away saying like, oh, I'm glad I saw it, but it wasn't something I think is going to stand out amongst all the other films that came out last year. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram, and as always, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more reviews and videos. Thanks.